I started collecting Hot Toys about a year and a half ago, and my collection's definitely grown. I do consider myself a collector of lots of different collectibles, toys, statues, things of that nature, and they don't all necessarily have to be a certain brand. I have tons of statues and figurines of, like, you know, I have Funko Pops, I have the little Funko minifigures, I have Living Dead dolls, I have Hot Toys, I have a couple of other just generic statues from, you know, like different DC lines and stuff like that, like all over the place, you know. But today I'm just going to go over my Hot Toy collection because I do have quite a few. As far as like my collection of Hot Toys, I try to keep it much more, I don't want to say refined. I just don't go as broad as I do with other things. Like with Funko Pops and artwork, I kind of just go, you know, oh, I like this thing, you know, a lot, I'll buy it. With Hot Toys, just because of their price point, it has to be characters or versions of a character that, like, I really like, just to be willing to drop that dollar, basically. So in this collection, you're mainly gonna see it's all Star Wars characters and it is different versions of the Joker because he's my favorite. So sit back, relax. I'm gonna kind of do this in a, you know, choppy fashion. I'm not gonna do all Star Wars at once and all Joker at once. I'll kind of try to do one-on-one. I'll say a quick side note, I know some people will roast me and get aggravated that I take these out of the box. I've never been one to keep things in the box. It depends, because I do have a Arkham Asylum Joker collector's edition of, I can't even remember the branding right now, but like that's still sealed in his box and he will never come out of the box. That was a special gift that my friend got me, it's either for Christmas or my birthday one year. And it's just so special to me. I loved it. She like waited in line for hours to get it for me as soon as it was like released in a comic book store. And I see them selling on eBay now for tons and tons of money. And it's like, I will never take that out of the box. That's so special. But Hot Toys, I feel like they're meant to be taken out of the box. Side note, in case you clicked on this and you don't know what a Hot Toy is, basically it is a brand that all of the head sculpts are basically, like, they're still mass produced, but like all of the features and stuff are done like by hand. Like somebody sits there and does the design for the initial statue and that's recreated over and over again. So it's really fine details that you see on these head sculpts. Like, they look amazing. Also, all of the clothes, they're not like molded on, they're all like sewn like into, like, it's like doll clothes basically, but you know, for Star Wars characters or armor for superheroes, you know. They also come with lots of accessories and they're also a pretty high price point. I do have a good few retired ones, if you will, in my collection. Ones that like Hot Toys just doesn't produce anymore. Sideshow doesn't sell them. That's like a distributor that you can buy Hot Toys from. It's a website. So you're gonna see a couple of those that you might have to just buy on eBay. I'll tell you which ones are my favorites, my least favorites. I mean, hint, I love all of them, but still. The very first one I'm going to talk about, I feel like you probably saw in the shop behind me, is my Jared Leto Joker. This is the Suicide Squad version with the purple coat. And I will say, he, regardless of your opinion on Jared Leto's Joker, his Hot Toy is really great. It's definitely one of the most well-made ones that I think I have. His clothes are phenomenally done. All of these chains are real and removable. You could take the whole coat off of him if you really wanted to. He has so many points of articulation. His stand was really good. His packaging, by far, is the most impressive packaging I've gotten with a statue ever, to be honest with you. Basically, just the details on this one really just knock it out of the park. Like I said, if you're a big Joker fan, it's, you know, it's definitely, it should be a part of your collection. He looks great. And I know not everyone loves Jared Leto Joker, but like, this Hot Toy is just definitely one of the ones that really pays attention to detail, and it really shows. One thing that I will do throughout this video, I'm going to tell you if I think the Hot Toys are worth the price that I paid for them or not, and basically if I recommend these Hot Toys. my Jared over here, I would say if you're a hardcore Joker collector, yeah, he's a must-have. He's really, really cool. He has so many really good features. The details are very, like, precise. He looks so crisp and clean. All of his clothes are just sewn on so well. It all has really good texture, and, like, you can totally tell that a lot of time went into making him. That being said, I believe I paid... I want to say it was $200 for him. And I didn't have to worry about shipping because I bought him while I was at a convention. Which usually with every convention I go to, I make it like a point to buy myself like one. Like I save up all my money and I just go and I get one nice thing. So yeah, I'd say if you're a hardcore Joker collector, you gotta have him. But if you're just kind of a casual Hot Toy collector, or if you're just kind of like a casual DC fan, maybe you don't need him, but like for me, I wanted to at least have one of every Joker, and then the ones that I like more, I wanted to have multiple versions. So he is my only Suicide Squad Joker. Okay, this next one, he's a big daddy. He is my Emperor Palpatine in his throne. He is so cool. He even lights up. Hold on, let me find the switch. Yep, real working LEDs in his chair. His chair actually does spin around. He's definitely the most expensive Hot Toy I have, and that's because of his chair. This one is actually still being made, so you can buy him easily on the Hot Toy site. I think I forgot to say that about my Jared Leto. Jared Leto, I can't find him anymore on Sideshow's website, so I think you might just have to buy him through eBay now or a convention if you want to get him. This one's still being made, so if you really like Palpatine, you can snag him. He comes with a couple other accessories. He comes with Force lightning that he can shoot out of his hands, which personally I found was really hard to pose, to be honest with you. But I will say he does come with Luke's lightsaber, which I thought was a cool addition to have. I see a lot of people, because you can also change out their hands, and they'll take a certain type of hand and he'll be like holding it on to the side of his throne. And I think that's cool, but I also like the idea of him just holding it. He also has a little old man cane. I don't know. Palpatine is one of my favorite Star Wars characters. I think he's so fun and he's so over the top, and every time he's on screen, I can't help but love every second of it. This is Emperor Palpatine in his throne. He, like I said, is definitely my more expensive Hot Toy. He, without the chair, is normally about $220 plus shipping. With the chair, I paid about, I want to say $340 with shipping and handling. And I know these price points are probably going to sound insane to some people, and I totally get it. Like, it's a lot for plastic and fabric, but if you're really into statue collecting, like I haven't found a brand that I enjoy more than Hot Toys. Like, it's just phenomenal in every way. They always look so 10 out of 10 over the top. I would say Palpatine is one that I would classify as definitely worth the money if you're a big Star Wars fan. I will say though, he is a lot bigger, and he does also come with a stand like my Jared Leto one. But I just, like, if I paid for the chair, I'm gonna use the chair, you know? So moving on from Palpatine, I'm gonna bring out the first Hot Toy that I ever bought, and they definitely don't make him anymore. I had to buy him from a seller on eBay, and I was lucky enough to find a version of him that had never been opened before. I don't know how I got it for so cheap, and I double-checked, triple-checked even, to make sure that it wasn't a recreation, because sometimes that will happen where it happens a lot, I find, with like certain brands of like Japanese figures that I buy. Not talking about Hot Toys right now, just like another brand, where I'll see their prices for like super cheap all of a sudden for like figures that I know are super rare and like they've been out of stock for years, but then you go and you read like the fine print and it's like, this is a recreation like from China. So it's like not the same brand, and they're kind of like, the labels will be messed up, and like it's like very slightly, you can tell that it's off-branded. So I always try to be really careful of that whenever I see stuff that's like suspiciously less. But no, it just seemed like this was a seller who just didn't have room for it anymore. And you know what? I'm not complaining. I think I should finally just show you which one it is. It is my Heath Ledger's Joker from The Dark Knight. And this is just him in his classic outfit for the entire movie. He's fantastic. He is definitely one of my hot toys that comes with the least accessories. He also, since this is an older hot toy, he doesn't come with as elaborate of a stand. His box also really wasn't as fancy as some of the newer ones. But he, like, all of his, like, his trench coat and everything are, like, so well, it's so well stitched. Everything stays together really well. All of the details are completely accurate to the movie. It's just insane. The only accessories that he comes with his little switchblade, which can actually retract and go back out. And he comes with a stack of Joker cards and a little flip book of dollar bills. This hot toy will always have a special place in my heart since it was the first one that I ever bought. It's what got me into collecting hot toys in the first place. And like I was saying before, his stand isn't nearly as elaborate as some of the others is. But overall, he's definitely one of my favorite pieces in my collection. I spent about $200 on him plus shipping. Shipping really wasn't that bad. I think it might have been like $15, $20. Alright, up next we're doing a Star Wars hot toy. And this is actually the only girls hot toy that I have. And it is of the one and only oh my god, wow, it's Jyn Erso, but she just dropped her Death Star plans. Basically, she is also special to me. She is one of my favorite Star Wars ladies. I love her. I'm definitely looking into getting a Episode 9 Rey hot toy. I kind of want to wait and see how they look once they're being like mass produced, because sometimes like the product images on the site, their faces can look a little bit different once you actually get them. Sometimes they look better, sometimes they look a little off. It just kind of depends. So I always like, you know, I don't really pre-order them too soon. I kind of want to wait until I see it in a couple people's hands to make sure it's one that I want. There's definitely some though that like I'll drop my money for in a second. Like, it's not gonna happen, but the second Hot Toys announces a Joaquin Phoenix Joker hot toy, I will drop all my money instantly. Don't even care. So ready for it. But anyway, Jyn was one that I wanted to wait for a while to see what she looked like in person, to make sure that the face sculpt was right. Because Felicity Jones, she's a very pretty woman, but she has like a very particular face. And I know that sometimes when people have a particular structure, they don't always translate well to hot toys. So as much as I loved her, I wanted to make sure that it was actually gonna look like her when I got her. And thankfully it does. And she's also special to me because I bought her at Star Wars Celebration in 2019. And so she was like the coolest thing that I got from that convention. And I was super excited. We got to see the teaser for Episode 9 before everyone else. And you know, we had that whole hype going on. So it was just a really great feeling. So whenever I look at her, I just kind of get taken back to that. And so I just like it a lot. And she's also a really great hot toy. She has lots of details on her outfit that are like, you know, I'm sure if you've ever watched a Star Wars movie, their outfits are all really intricate. Even like rebels that are just wearing jackets and pants, it's like every like little detail is stitched on. It looks phenomenal. I just want to show you that it actually does really resemble Felicity Jones. Like, they really nailed this face sculpt. They couldn't make it look more like her if they tried. Every little stitch and detail with her jacket. Another thing that I'd like to mention, like all of these things can come off. So like if you want to take off like her outer vest and just have her rocking the shirt, you can do that. They're also completely like, you know, movable, flexible. So like I could take this out of her hand, I could put new things in there. She comes with a variety of weapons that you see her with in the movie. She has a nice little stand that also has her nameplate. I think I paid about $270 for Jyn. And that was for a couple different reasons. One, she cost a little bit more than normal just because, like I said, I got her at Star Wars Celebration, and that was in Chicago. And I'm not from Chicago, and their tax over there is a lot higher than it is where I live. So that was definitely a part of it. It was also because I was paying at a convention, and usually like vendors, I don't want to like generalize too much, but usually in my experience with vendors, They kind of cut you deals whether it's Sunday or if you're paying in cash. So I wasn't paying in cash, unfortunately. I didn't just have 300 bucks in cash laying around, but he still did something for me since it was Sunday. And I appreciated that. So I think I got her for about $270. But yeah, definitely every time I look at her, I just have sentimentalness. The next one we're going to be talking about, we're going straight for another Star Wars character, is my boy, Obi-Wan Kenobi. And it's his Revenge of the Sith outfit and hairstyle and beard cut. Now, Obi-Wan is one of my favorite characters, especially in the prequels. He's great. And in Clone Wars, he's great in Clone Wars. And in some of the Legends comics and stuff. This hot toy, I paid about, I think after tax and shipping and everything, $250, $240, something like that. You could get a deluxe version of him for about $270, I believe. He's still for sale on the Sideshow website. The deluxe version comes with a couple extra accessories, some hologram tables where you can see Anakin and Darth Sidious talking to each other, and stuff like that. I didn't really feel the need for it. It also came with a couple of set pieces, and I like to pose my hot toys by themselves. I don't really put them with other hot toys. Like, they stand next to each other, but they don't, like, interact. I just don't make scenes with them, because I'd be changing them all the time if I did. So I didn't feel the need for it, so I just got the regular version. But he was great. I will say there was some drama with him when he first came out for some reason about his head sculpt, and I think he looks fine. I think there are definitely other hot toys in my collection where they definitely got the likeness more than they did with this one, but I wouldn't have gotten him if I didn't think it looked like McGregor, and it does look like him, so, you know, I'm fine. But there was also drama with his head sculpt because, this is going to sound like an odd thing to point out, you can pop their heads off. I'm not going to do it right now because he's all posed and ready to go, and I'm not doing it and not putting myself through that. But usually when you pop their heads off, their heads come off of their necks. But now with this one, this was one of the first ones where when you pop the head off, the whole neck comes with it. So that means there's not as many joints. Like, you can't move his head like this. It has to be like all or nothing, which some people really don't like. It took me a little bit of getting used to because all of my hot toys before him, I could just move the head, and it made for more intricate posing, I think. But I do definitely think this makes it look like a more realistic statue and not as much of like a toy, even though these would be expensive toys. You know, it kind of fits more smoothly in. It's not this jagged disconnect. We're going back to my Jokers. This is actually the last Joker hot toy in my collection for now. I think he's my favorite hot toy overall, just because I knew how hard it was. Like, I know how hard it was to find him and to get him in a new condition that wasn't so beat up or pieces missing. And that is the Dark Knight Joker in his police uniform, his honor guard uniform. I love this one so much. It is a much older hot toy. You'll notice if you get him that his articulation points are a little different than some of the newer ones. The only hot toy that I have bought that I did not buy new because, oh my god, I don't have money for that. He was one that, like, I searched for forever, it seems like, to get in a good condition used. The only reason why I got him, I'm about to say so cheap, it wasn't cheap, but I got him for about $200 with shipping and tax, and they don't make this one anymore. So, like, that was a steal for me. But the only reason why I got it for $200 was because the original seller did not have the stand anymore. He's like, I don't even know what happened to it. I have no idea. Like, and he even provided me the stand that it comes with. He just bought like a generic stand and put a sticker on it. And I was like, I don't care, just give it to me, it's fine. So as you can see, it's Kylo Ren. He's one of my favorite Star Wars characters. He's actually my favorite, especially from the sequels. I knew as soon as I saw that they made one for him, I had to get it. Granted, they have one for every Star Wars film from the sequels. They have a Force Awakens Kylo, Last Jedi Kylo, and Episode 9 Kylo. I got Last Jedi Kylo. I wanted to make sure I could get it with this face sculpt, because this face sculpt is just really, really good. Granted, I've looked at the episode 9 one, and it's also really good, but it's kind of like very, very similar. The only difference is that his hair's kind of slicked back, and I mean, like, it looks good. It's just kind of like, do I want to spend $300 just to have his hair slicked back, but the rest of him looks exactly the same? And the answer is no, I don't want to do that. He does come with another head sculpt where it's his helmet, and it comes with his little cape, and it's like his magnets in his chest right here. So the cape magnetizes and it just stays, and it looks all nice. But I didn't want that. I kind of wanted the outfit that he wears for a majority of the movie, which is just like the underneath part. He also comes with a full lightsaber that actually is like outstretched. But I find that with the Hot Toys, for some reason, and I've noticed this with every lightsaber hero that I get, bad or good, that the lightsabers are almost as big as the people, and that it just doesn't seem to scale. It stands out. It's really weird. And I didn't want to pose him with the lightsaber. I wanted to kind of emulate when he's like reaching out his hand to Rey, like in the throne room scene, and he's got his hilt right here, but it's not ignited. The details with the face sculpt, I just can't get over it. You can even see the scar on his face that Rey gives him in The Force Awakens / I guess the beginning of The Last Jedi. His, like I said, like their stitching and everything is just phenomenal. You can see every individual stitch in his clothes. It's just ridiculous. His shoes are actually plastic sculpted. You can't take them off. Fun fact though, you can actually take off this like top, I'm going to call it a shirt. I think it's 2 parts. I've never actually taken it off of mine, but my friend has one and she's done it before, where you take this off and he has the under training clothes that Adam Driver actually wore while filming. It has like suspenders and like a tank top underneath this, which is like, I think that's kind of funny. And like they definitely didn't have to add that, but like it's fun to think that canonically Kylo Ren wears suspenders underneath all of this. So I'm standing up now because I was really tired of sitting down hunched over. But yeah, I've got my last hot toy in the collection to go over, and it is I was going to say Revenge of the Sith. It also kind of works for Attack of the Clones, Count Dooku. I'm going to show you a better view of him in a second. He is my newest hot toy that I purchased. I was worried about him because he's one that I really wanted to pre-order, but I was scared to because I know that Christopher Lee has such a distinct, iconic look to him, and I was worried that it wasn't going to translate well. I also heard there was more drama about the neck mold and that like it was weird, like the Obi-Wan one, but I finally just sucked it up and I bought him. I bought him at a convention. I got him for, I paid $220 for him, which is actually about $60 cheaper than the website. So, and I didn't even like have to talk anyone down or anything. They were just flat out like, yeah, $220, and I was like, sick. Quick side profile. You can literally even see the age spots on his face. Like, he just looks phenomenal. Like, I cannot praise his head sculpt enough. They really just outdid themselves. And the double lining on the cape, it just looks, oh, I can't get over it. So those are all of my Hot Toy statues as of right now. I'm definitely planning on getting a couple more. I'm interested in a Hot Toys Joker for the new Joker movie that just came out a couple months ago. If Hot Toys actually gets around to making it, rumor is they're not gonna make it, but I'm crossing my fingers. I really hope so. I'm thinking about getting an episode 9 Rey. Depending on if the face sculpt looks good or not, I'm gonna have to wait and see. I would also, like, as much as I don't want to buy a double for this character, I would really love, like, an episode 9 Palpatine. Like, I really want him, like, on that, like, it reminds me of, like a baby bouncer arm. Like, you know, like, when your mom would, like, put you in, like, one of those swings as a baby, and it would, like, bounce you, like, for you, like, you wouldn't have to do it. That's what it reminds me of, like, the arm he's on in episode 9. I think that'd be really funny to, like, have on a shelf. I feel like it would be huge, and it would, like, cost so much money, but I would love it. So if they make one for him, which I don't think they will, I'd probably consider getting it. They're releasing a Pennywise hot toy next year. And I'm already sleuthing for that one. So anyway, hope you guys liked this collection, this little haul. If you want to see more collections of other types of statues that I've got, or for certain characters, I'm all for it. Just let me know in the comments down below, and have a good day.